It's the best, hands down.
It's crystal clear.
I love it. The things you can make are awesome.
No one else has quality epoxy like this.
It's easy to mix.
Tim is such a wealth of knowledge.
It's gotta be iCoat.
Welcome to the Resin Mastery podcast, exploring iCoat epoxy.
All right, guys, welcome back to Resin Mastery, exploring iCoat epoxy. I'm Rachel, if you are just now tuning in, and I am here with my co-host, Ian. How are you doing today, Ian?
Rachel, I'm great. It's great to be here for our year-end wrap-up. It's been a year and a couple of months of our podcast. We've got a great growing audience, and it's great to see that the work we've done has actually helped people in their resin work, introduce people to new forms of income, and help those with income actually grow their income. So I'm actually thrilled with what we've done through the podcast.
Oh, yeah, me too. I think when I think about it, I'm like, wow, like every time you got back to me with the updates on how many people have viewed our podcast, that one day you said that we had 40,000 people watch across platforms. And I was like, what? That's crazy.
No, it is. It's kind of crazy that, you know, our biggest episodes probably had nearly 27,000 views. Mm-hmm. And, you know, this is people around the world tuning in. And I hope for everyone, it's great education. And we're hearing from people that they're making things they never thought of making because of the podcast. They're doing things a certain way and getting tips that they never knew how. And we're going to go over some of that stuff today. So why don't we dig in? Merry Christmas to everyone, 2025. But let's cover the year in review for Resin Mastery. And the first one, because it happened, I think, in March or April, Rachel, we introduced our AI agent.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I mean, wow, what a helpful tool to be able to have for people who, you know, there's all hours of the day. There's also people who may be watching that happen to be in another country or, you know, whatever, and they have a totally different time zone. Even 3 hours ahead, like on the East Coast, is a lot when it comes to business hours. So yep. It's such a nice way to be able to help everybody. And, you know, it's not just one of those AI bots that's like, oh, yeah, it's searching the internet for these things. And you get what the top Google searches are. That's what the supporting information is. No, it is basically like tried and true methods of the iCoat brand of Tim, who is very well versed in
35 years of it.
Yeah, all types of epoxy. I would say that he's a resin veteran. So,
well, his nickname's the wizard in the industry because he knows so much about it. He's been on TV shows. He's been on the internet, on different shows on the internet. He's been on podcasts, and he really knows his stuff. Like, I think if you've ever watched shows like, you know, Fix My Bedroom or Fix My House, Fix My Kitchen, or This Old House, you know, Spaces. He was on Spaces doing countertops, showing people how to do it as the expert. So all of his knowledge, like you said, Rachel, went into the AI chatbot. So when you go on there, you are getting, you know, his whole brain that you can ping for information, tips, tricks, warming techniques, curing techniques, fixing techniques, which resin to use. Because iCoat has, and for everyone listening, you're listening to a show about the company with the most different variants of resin in the industry.
Yeah.
They've got something for everything. If you go on their website, iCoatEpoxy.com, you can go and you will see what each of their resins are used for. Like, they actually have other brands who come and buy some of our particular resins and wood sealers to use on their projects before they use their resins. You know, that's how great that is. But what I want to do is just, Rachel, this is one of my jobs this morning, was actually going through all of the questions that have come in on the chatbot.
Oh,
so, okay. I actually go and I'll actually give us a few of the questions coming, just to give people an example of how powerful this tool is. And look, we're in an era of AI. So, you know, this is really sort of great to see that. So just a few days, a question came in. Can you give me the sample resin piece for HV casting? And I want information on if and when it'll start yellowing. And the AI bot came back based on, again, Tim's knowledge and understanding and the chemical formulation, and gave them exactly the timeline, how to prevent ambering, the fact that all, and capital A, capital L, capital L, resins, if not stored, used, treated properly, will amber over time. It's just part of the nature of those things. And so it gave it all that information. People have come on and said, even things like, simple questions like, I ordered product. If I order today, when will it get here? Yeah. And they get their information, and the AI bot's able to give them that information, which again is great. Takes time and energy for humans to do it, and at least they're getting the right information. Other people like, is it food safe? And yes, all of our stuff is LEED Platinum food safe, so you can eat directly off it. I don't know if you saw, Rachel, in the news recently, there was a whole news article about quartz. That's very popular in kitchens, but is now being linked to cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I know everyone wants these beautiful countertops, but a lot of them are porous, and a lot of them, you can get bacteria out of them. So, they're not as safe as stainless steel or epoxy. Mm-hmm. And then other people come on. I'll just do a few more. I use HV Ultra, the new epoxy for flower preservation. Is that better than the HV 4100? And they're different. Even the AI bot was able to differentiate between the two of them, and how with Ultra you can pour a little more, and it has a little bit of a different, like brighter coloration than the 4100 does. But the 4100 is still pretty much the gold standard for epoxy. And then I think the most popular question was, what can I use for a top coat? Because I want a really smooth top coat. And it always comes back with, the most popular choice is the countertop CT60 epoxy that's used as a flood coat or a top coat. So the AI bot, it's on the site. You just go to the site, iCoatepoxy.com, just click the AI agent, and you can get in there. But the depth of a response to the questions is really impressive. And that's the large language model being used as a small language model within the AI agent. So it ties into the knowledge base, has a memory, and you're getting fantastic results out of that.
Yeah, well, that's so good. And 24/7 access.
Yep.
365, so you never have to worry about, I don't know where to go, or I'm trying to Google search it. Remember, we have AI who can help us, and he's good at his job because he's been trained by the best.
Yeah, and I even saw a question on, give me step-by-step instructions on how to preserve a bouquet of flowers, and it gave this whole long step-by-step instruction. Again, not just based off the internet, like Rachel said, but, off real world information that is exactly what we need. Mm-hmm. So, that was the start of the year. And then something big happened in the start of summer, which was a poor young man in the middle of the night had an accident, drove straight through the side of iCoat's building and set the building on fire.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that was a life lost, and still not many answers on exactly why. We just know the speed he was going, or must have been going, based off of, I think, cameras and the damage.
Skid marks and things, yeah. And actually not a lot of skid marks, as they said. They said he probably hit it full tilt. But yeah, for a lot of companies, that could have been crushing in the end of them. But it's amazing to the team at iCoat how resilient they were at holding everything together and getting this thing done, getting everyone back on their feet, getting orders out. They only lost a few days. And most customers we talked to said they never even knew it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Well, the interesting thing to me is I actually heard people talking about it outside, like just around Phoenix and Scottsdale and stuff. They'd be, oh, did you hear about that guy who drove into the building in Phoenix? And I was like, little do you know, I know exactly what that story is, and just word making it around, and of the perseverance too of the company still operating even with going on, which is very rare. Usually everything has to shut down if there is any kind of fire, but luckily there's an extra, that property has a good amount of space, so it was still other places.
That's where the tent went up, right? In the courtyard at first.
Yeah.
And then after the tent went up, we actually couldn't even sustain the tent for long, so it was 115 degrees outside. And so we had to move to another building temporarily, which we're still in until the old building is redone, and that'll be the start of the year. But look, that just shows the resilience of the company that you're working with when you work with iCoat as well. And that was at the start of our big competition as well. The release of HV Ultra in the competition. So talk about a crazy moment in time, which was because we just got an order coming in, a really big order from, to the warehouse. And that order should have got there on Monday, but it arrived early on Friday. And sometimes you think, oh, how lucky were we? We got it early. Well, that all burned.
That's so crazy to think about, that all burned. But at the same time, not truly setting us back too much, right?
No, it was, again, the resilience of being able to get that reordered and reshipped quick enough. And so just in case you don't know and you didn't enter, we actually did a 50 gallons of epoxy giveaway. And all you had to do was actually get on social media and basically boost your own company. Yeah. Which is great for our users.
Yeah. And so it's right, just to get my understanding of it, it was boost your own company, tag us so that you're getting both of our names out there. And there are people who got exposure from the iCoat page. There's our iCoat page that got exposure from their pages. So it was just really a team effort, and I really love to see all the interaction, especially in that one podcast that we did where we interviewed Tim about it, and he was able to talk about how many things he had coming in. He was writing it down on paper. You were translating that to the computer.
Yeah, no, the amount of people on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and other channels who were engaging, YouTube, it was just fantastic. People were pinging that we had a secret word in the podcast that you could get extra points for. And the top 3 people were based on points, and the next 7 were actually drawn randomly out of hat. So I think we had over 400 people enter the competition, and 10 people won 50 gallons of epoxy, split between the 10 of them, which was really amazing. And even more incredible, Rachel, was the fact that we had Valdi Resin in 3rd place, and Val is an up-and-comer out of Michigan who did an amazing promotional job, was very active. And then we were looking at 2nd and 1st place, but we could hardly split the difference. So we had 2 1st-place winners in Rachel Croxall from Blossom and Rhyme and Tina Butt from Butt Woodworks. And both of them did an amazing job with them and their teams. And if anyone wants to go and listen to both of their podcasts, they were both interviewed with us on the Resin Mastery podcast earlier in the year, because both of these ladies started with, I need to do something else in my life. I'm going to start preserving flowers. And both of them now have thriving businesses with employees.
Yeah. And like I said in those interviews too, what I absolutely love about that is hearing about not only when you're supported by the sustainability of the company you're sourcing from that's made in the US, right? Keeping it in your nation, which is awesome, supporting local businesses even, but local can be your whole nation. It's those women are truly living out the American dream of the freedoms that we have, of the abilities that we have to be able to make a better life for ourselves and use the blessings that we are being given to our advantage and to the advantage of others around us and in that industry, by also uplifting even competitors, from what I've heard, and giving them information and helping them go, you can source your stuff from the company I get it from too, which is awesome.
Yeah. And then, when we think about it, the competition was also to promote the release of a brand new epoxy line, HV Ultra. And we have already basically the gold standard in the HV 4100 for flower preservation. The difference with Ultra was it was formulated a little different. So color-wise, when you saw the two of them, this one had a more crystal-looking color. And it also had the ability to pour up to 50% more. So based on your mold sizes, sometimes you go 20% more, 30%, 50%, 40%. So you had to do some batch testing on those things. But Rachel Cruxwell actually did a piece that she said with HV Ultra took her only 4 days for a complete multi-layer flower preservation that usually would have taken longer.
Wow.
When you're thinking of efficiencies in business, that's a hell of a cost saving.
Oh, yeah.
And for the customer, how quick you can turn something like that around. You think of museums and other people who do preservations who could use this and now get things time to value a lot faster than they had before. So that's on there. If you haven't tried it yet, I suggest go on, get a gallon kit, try a few preservations using the HV Ultra. It's amazingly versatile. And I think it's something that you'll just really love working with. And then when you get to finish it, just use the CT60 as a top coat. And I think you'll have just something beautiful. So that was another thing that happened this year. So we've had the competition, we had the accident, we had the rebuild, we had the AI agent, we had the podcast reaching its first year, which, Rachel's been a real pleasure.
Oh, it has been honestly one of the best parts of my life that I've ever gotten to experience, just being able to sit down and, there were some weeks where, we were busy and we missed it, but we always made it work when push came to shove. And I mean, it's hard for me to think about, have I done anything for like a year, basically? Like, have I been a part of anything? When I really think about it, this is the first thing that I've done. So it feels like a huge accomplishment, and, just being able to honor God in that too, and the way that we speak and the way that we have carried ourselves as a podcast has been great. And just getting to sit down and get to know you more over this past year, it's been so good. And then you've seen so much transformation in my life too.
I've watched you go from single to be married in 1 year, which is fantastic. and just, seeing your growth and the growth on the podcast has been great. So for listeners, for next year, why keep listening? Because I'll tell you why, because we have some amazing things coming next year. We're always planning months and months ahead. So the podcast will continue. We're going to be putting out more episodes, interviewing more artisans, interviewing more people to tell their story, because their story helps instruct how you can build your business. Mm-hmm. The unemployment rate, I think, sitting at 4.5%. You don't have to be one of those people. For a very small investment, you can actually be making things. You can be making your Christmas gifts with it. You can be preparing for celebrations next year. Wedding season's going to get hot and heavy again coming up after Christmas. So everyone's got to start being ready for what's coming. It's a great time to get a few small kits and get practicing. We are going to be releasing some special things, so keep your eye on both the podcast and iCoatEpoxy.com for those things that are coming. One last thing, Rachel, is one of our other interview people, Ryan Walsh from Lumberlust, just did the most amazing table for Caterpillar. And Caterpillar are the company do all the big diggers and earth movers. And this thing is absolutely off the charts, and it was made for their corporate offices. And again, if you just go on to iCoatEpoxy.com and go to the blog section, you'll be able to see that. So across the board, we have people making some of the most incredible things. To all of our listeners and all of the people who use our resin, we will promote you for free. Send us your information. You can reach me at ian@iCoatProducts.com. Send me the pictures, send me the videos. I will actually put them on our magazine that goes out that people go to for everything epoxy resin. And they may even go on the iCoat Epoxy site as well. Just tell us what sort of epoxy you used to make them, how you did it, if you got a backstory. And then if you want to come on onto the podcast as an interview, we'll gladly have you on here to interview you as well. one last thing before we say goodbye, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
We're opening up for international shipping. Like, I know it's been something that in the past we've only been doing USA and Canada, but now we have the ability to do freight quotes and actually ship internationally as well. So if you're listening to this overseas and you want to place an order, you can again do that on the site, place your order, and we'll actually get you a shipping quote. And then you'll be able to get this shipped to places overseas as well. I don't think it'll be everywhere at the start, but just select overseas countries to begin. So, Rachel, enough of me. Any last words and a Christmas wrap up?
Well, I just want to say that's totally awesome that we're doing international shipping, because not only can people overseas use our AI now, but they can actually use our products. So that's amazing. I would just say, guys, a little reminder as we go into the Christmas season, don't let stress get to you. I know that it can be difficult, especially if you're running your own business. Just like, let alone that, but also having to deal with family. And, some of us out there are dealing with the fact that maybe somebody's not around this year, like they were for the previous years of our holiday. So just remember to take time, take deep breaths, spend time in ways that are wholesome, and don't let that stress get to you. Just know that you are safe, you are okay, and, you will have a good holiday if you keep those things in mind.
Yeah, no, look, real blessings to everyone out there, and God bless you all, that you'll have a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year, and get ready for what's to come in 2026. The economy is looking pretty good, so I think what we're seeing is more and more people want things made out of resin. Charcuterie boards, trays. Rachel, throw in where you want. Ring holders.
Oh yeah, the river tables. Oh my goodness.
Jewelry, doorknobs, ashtrays, countertops.
Yeah, everything. It's just there's a plethora of things that you can make, and that's actually one of the first episodes I think we did, like the third or fourth was
everything you can make. Yeah, go back and listen to that and look at all the things you can make, and just visualize in your area where you can make some money doing this. We're here to help. So Rachel, until next time, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and we will see y'all in the new year.